Hello. Okay, guys, the audio should be good now. Y'all let me know. I had to like leave the studio and come back, but it's saying that it's working now. So y'all put a one in the chat if the audio is working. If you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Okay, perfect. All right, well then let me start my whole spiel over again. Hey y'all, it's your girl Mariah Sincere, and I am a self-love coach who helps people radically transform their lives through one-on-one coaching. I also moved myself abroad and went through that entire process by myself. So if that's something that you were interested in doing yourself, send me an email at thepassportsis@gmail.com. Once I get into this economy today, y'all, because we're going to talk about that, it's gonna look real good to y'all to go ahead and exit stage left because this situation is not getting better. Okay, let's see who's all in here. We got my girl Olivia here, and we got D Mally. What's up? Hey y'all. Okay, so lunch crew going up. Lunch hour going up. So guys, let me get a little coffee in me because this is not y'all know, like as a woman after 30, you just be tired all the time. Like, and this don't make no sense. So I've had this my second cup of coffee within the last couple hours. Okay, so we're going to be talking about these mass layoffs that are going on, particularly in the nursing field, which is scary because we all need healthcare. Healthcare in the US is already terrible, and now the nurses are getting laid off. So we're going to be talking about nursing. We're going to be talking about these nasty teachers. It's the epidemic at this point, okay, with these nasty female teachers. We're going to get into Tia Mawry speaking out about her relationship with Corey and her divorce. Of course, we're going to get a little update on Diddy. And finally, we are going to talk about DDG and just the dust he exudes. Hey, skinny boy, what's up? I just told my dad I was finna move to Colombia like you. Girl, don't laugh about it. You LOL and girl, quit playing with it. You better get you a plan because this is only getting worse. It's like at this point, we'll talk about it. But at this point, people need to look into their options. Like, people in the US, especially those who have been living in the US for a long time, are going to need to think outside the box and overhaul their lives in some form or fashion, even if you choose to stay in the US in order to make it through this storm, baby. Hey, skinny boy. Yes, y'all follow me on Instagram, Mariah Sincere. You can also follow me on TikTok. Yes, y'all, my Cash App is Mariah Sincere as well. Um, yes, I also have a website where you can go on there and book travel for yourself if you already know what you want to do and what you're looking for. I also do travel as well. If you want to hit me up at thepassportsis@gmail.com, and of course hit the like button. That is the best way to help me out. So anyway, let's get into it. I want to show y'all this video that I was watching earlier today that it was really scary. We're not going to watch the entire thing. We're just going to YouTube has been lately, and you got YouTubers that trip. But anyway, hopefully this video doesn't get flagged. I'm going to put my headphones on so I can hear. So this video is coming from real estate mindset. Real estate mindset. If I mess up when I'm reading sometimes, y'all, that's because my laptop is sitting really low and I can't see really well, to be honest. So I apologize for that. I probably need to get some glasses at this point. Okay, so the title of this video is Mass Nationwide Nurse Layoffs and the Healthcare System Collapse. Now, before we get into this video, I have been hearing about this for a very long time. I feel like even before COVID, there were some problems within the nursing industry. A lot of older nurses were getting pushed out the industry in favor of newer nurses who they could pay less. As a result, the bedside manner of the nurses has been on the decline. Now, to be fair, there have always been a lot of nasty women in nursing. I'm not even going to hold you. It's not like the days of old where the nurses really used to care about the patients. It's always been more so about the money. With that said, I can kind of understand because a lot of these patients are annoying and rude and disrespectful. So it's like the culture in general has changed, right? So as a result, healthcare has changed. So it's already super expensive and you're getting low quality for what you're paying for. So it's like a vicious cycle. Now, with that said, we still need nurses, regardless of how people feel about them and their customer service and their quality of care. We need nurses who are qualified. Now, as a teacher, right, who I see what's going on, I know that most of the people that are going to college now can barely even read, right? These are just the people like, okay, if we go back 10 or 15 years ago, you had your C average student that was able to get into college. And now, because of the way that we inflate grades and the pressure that school districts have to pass kids along, your A student today is really your C student of 15 or 20 years ago. Do y'all understand? So your B student of today is really your D student. Your C student today is really your F student. And anything below that is just any kid that's making below a C in school today, it is just incapable at this point of functioning in regular society on an academic level, right? Unless they do some remediation as an adult. But I'm saying this to say that a lot of kids in nursing school are not really learning the material. A lot of them are stressed out because they have to pay for all these additional finances on top of being in nursing school. So what they do now is they have Chat GPT and all these computer programs writing their papers. And see, me, I used to write all my papers in school, but even when I was in school, there were already students who were paying other people to write papers for them if they had the means. Now this stuff is at people's fingertips. So a lot of these nurses are giving care and they really don't understand what they're doing. All right, so let's get into this video. Again, this is from Real Estate Mindset on YouTube.
Whether or not.
Oh, I can't hear anything.
This can get worse. And if you guys like what he has to say, come on over to his channel right here on YouTube, Nobody Special Finance. This is my buddy right here. And you guys, we are doing a video to accompany this video on his channel with Stewart Healthcare. So when you're done watching this, definitely go over to his channel and check that out. And before I begin and before we jump into these recent layoffs, Jack, how are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent, Travis. Thank you again for having me on. And thanks for telling me about this story. We found some cool stuff while we were digging around in this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Some interesting questions like birth rates, senior healthcare expenses. I thought it was greed, corruption, fraud. I mean, what the heck is going on? Let's look at a few of these headlines announcing thousands of layoffs. Struggling CarePoint Health could lay off 2,600 employees, which is obviously a ton of employees. When we go down, because I'm more interested on why the layoffs, but a little bit of a backstory. CarePoint Health could lay off more than 2,600 employees effective December 12th, according to notices filed with New Jersey regulators this week. The proposed cuts would impact workers across 3 different hospitals. So this is impacting 3 hospitals, 859 workers at the Bayonne Medical Center, 843 workers from the Christ Hospital in Jersey City, and 900 workers from the Hoboken University Medical Center. Now, a spokesperson for CarePoint said in a statement that the 3 local hospitals, and this is what I'm interested in, are not facing any imminent threat of closure, and no final decision regarding layoffs has been made at this time. Now, they go on to say essentially that the reason for these layoffs, Jack, is because of daunting financial challenges. In addition to that headline, this headline states Stewart Healthcare will lay off more than 1,200 workers in Massachusetts. The bankrupt health system will lay off workers at the end of the month as it prepares to close 2 hospitals in the state. So this one is noting hospital closures. One bullet point right here. News of the cuts come just a day after a federal court approved Stewart's plan to close the facility.
I just want to pause here because we probably pay the most in healthcare in any nation around the world. Okay. If not the most, we're up there. We're up there. Okay. How do our medical facilities not have money to operate? How do our medical facilities not have the money to keep staff on? And in my opinion, there is a vast misappropriation of funds that is going on at the administrative levels in healthcare. Because ain't no way that if you go to the emergency room and you don't have health insurance, they're going to charge you $10,000, $1,000 minimum just to look at you. Don't need an x-ray or anything like that. And they cannot keep staff on. Ain't no way that people are paying $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in cancer treatment and they do not have money to keep staff on, to pay their nurses. Something ain't right in the buttermilk. Let's continue.
Which Stewart said are losing money and have low patient volumes. Stewart attempted to find a...
Now, I can believe that. I can believe less people are going to the doctor because they cannot afford it. They cannot afford it. A lot of the times, things that people used to go to the doctor for that were minor, like a cough or them feeling like they had the vid, you know, that infection that was major in 2020. A lot of the times people would just, you know, get up and go to the emergency room or go to their doctor for small things. But now the cost of healthcare is so astronomical. You get anxiety if you were sick. You don't want to go to the doctor or the emergency room because you already know the bill is probably going to be something that you can't afford, right? And what is that? Over 50% of Americans can't afford a $500 emergency. They also can't afford to get sick.
Buyer for the hospitals during a months-long marketing process. However, the system said it received no qualified bids for the properties. Before I go back to you, Jack, Texas Children's Hospital to lay off 1,000 workers. That is a massive amount of people, you guys. 5% of workforce.
Okay, if you are from Texas, this is going to affect you, especially if you have children. I love Children's Hospital. So if you have children, this is going to affect them.
Of course, couple of the bullet points here. Despite being a nonprofit,
keep in mind with these layoffs coming, flu season is coming, demic season is coming, you know, vid season is coming. So a lot of people are going to be getting sick this winter. You're going to have emergency rooms that are overcrowded, and they're laying off nurses right before that gets started.
The renowned Houston-based, that's my local city, Houston-based hospital, which is affiliated with Baylor College of Medicine, has found itself in a financially challenging situation. Full details about the financial impact have not been disclosed. Here's what has been announced. The hospital, which operates in 120 locations across Texas and globally with a primary presence in Houston, employs approximately 20,000 people. Now, Houston Children's Hospital has attributed the need for layoffs to a combination of factors like low patient volume, again, financial challenges, and number 3, delay in opening a new Austin campus. Jack, having read that, what do you believe some of these financial challenges and daunting financial obstacles that they're facing? And do you think any of these hospitals are at risk of being completely shut down?
So let me address the last part. Absolutely. I think a lot of hospitals are at risk of being shut down right now. We're actually seeing a lot of hospitals, especially in Massachusetts, have been shut down just in this last year because of Stewart Healthcare, one of the names that you mentioned there. Now, it's interesting. Let's talk about these three, because you talked about CarePoint in New Jersey, you talked about Steward Healthcare, and then you talked about Texas Children's Hospitals. Let's talk first about Steward Healthcare. We've covered this one on DNN quite a lot. You, me, and Melody over there, we've talked about this one. If we could share my screen there. The daunting financial challenges facing Steward Healthcare, I think, has less to do with things going on in the medical community and probably more to do with this picture here. This is CEO Ralph De La Torre's $40 million yacht that he bought shortly after Steward Healthcare signed.
Okay, now I haven't even watched this whole video. I just watched like the beginning to see if, because I can tell when people know what they talking about, right? So before this man even said this, I already knew. Y'all heard me a few minutes ago. I already knew this has to do with misappropriation of funds. People at the top grabbing all this money and spending it on stuff that they do not need, right? And allowing their systems to collapse. Because at the end of the day, people that had access to that type of money, it don't matter if the business folds or goes under. They're going to be okay. So you have these rich CEOs acquiring these medical facilities and medical businesses, using those businesses to fund their lifestyles. And then when stuff is not going right in the economy, well, who's going to take the brunt of the responsibility and the accountability for the decisions of these CEOs? It's going to be the common people. And again, this is serious. Okay, we already don't have good health care in the US. And then on top of that, we're going into flu season and you got hospitals laying off nurses, right? And there's already a nursing shortage. There's already a good nursing shortage because they treated the good nurses so bad that the good nurses voluntarily left. So this is serious, y'all.
Signed a massive sale leaseback agreement with a real estate investment trust called Medical Properties Trust, or MPW is their stock ticker. Now, Medical Properties Trust now owns the buildings, and Steward Healthcare rents the buildings. So they sold the buildings to them for millions of dollars. The ownership of Steward Healthcare paid themselves hundreds of millions in dividends off of that sale, which of course, tens of millions went to buy Ralph De La Torre's yacht here. And ever since then, all of these hospitals that Steward operates that are owned by Medical Properties Trust have been going bankrupt, because where the hospital used to own the building outright, now they have millions of dollars a year in rental payments that they have to make to this real estate.
So what is ClickUp?
So
ClickUp
I'm going to stop there.
product.
I'm not going to go through this whole video because I honestly think that if you have the time, you should go watch this video yourself. This is on real estate mindset, but this is just kind of to let y'all know we are in a state of emergency. We are in a state of crisis, and a lot of people are frankly late to the game. I noticed that the economy was going under in 2021. Okay, we were in a recession then, but what happened is the feds, they pretty much moved the goalpost for what constitutes a recession. The entire Biden administration, they have not wanted to admit that we are in one. And because I'm on YouTube and YouTube has been doing a lot of censoring, I probably shouldn't even say that we're in one. Let me say this. I've speculated that we are in one since 2021. Certain industries dried up really quickly. So the first marker on how you can tell that we are in a recession and something is wrong should not be you looking at the TV and waiting to see what Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, or any mainstream news media outlet tells you. Okay. You should go to places like bars. You should go to strip clubs. The strip club needs to be the first place that you go. That's the first indicator. Do men have money to just freely spend on what they like? Okay, to just throw. Once we saw that the strip clubs were drying up, and those were all by the beginning of 2023, they were all the way dried up. Once you see that the strip clubs and the dancers are not making money anymore, then you got to know we're in trouble. looking at traditional indicators or markers, that's going to fool you every time, because a lot of times they don't want to let you know when we're in trouble, because they want you to keep spending your money. They don't want you to go make bank runs and go pull all your money out the bank. And I would argue that right now you shouldn't have the majority of your money in the bank. They don't want you to go pull your money out the stock market. They don't want the entire system to crash. So you have to use your own common sense. Does my dollar go as far as it used to? Are people spending the money that they used to? What are the prices like at the grocery store? What are the prices like on gas? Okay, that is going to help you determine for yourself whether or not we're in trouble, so that you can start making your moves. But the problem is, a lot of people were in denial. I would try to talk to them about these things, and they would be like, "Well, we're not in a recession because the news isn't saying it, or that's not true. Data, statistics, ma'am, sir, use your common sense. Get your head up out the sand and out the clouds and look around. That's going to tell you whether or not we're in a recession." The US dollar is losing value drastically. BRICS is going to make the US dollar worthless. Oh, okay. I don't know about that. Okay. Yes, the US dollar is losing value. I don't know if the BRICS is as big as a contender as we believe they're going to be, just because all of the infighting that they have within that group. You understand? That has yet to be seen, right? And we could talk about that. I mean, I feel like we could do a whole live just on that. But it is something to watch, Skinny Boy. Definitely is something to look at. With that said, guys, y'all need to start making your plans and your preparations. I see a lot of people on TikTok and YouTube making videos saying, don't quit your job right now. Now is not the time to quit your job. What if your job quits on you? And it's looking like that. I know a guy who got laid off 2 times last year. He got laid off at his job from Apple that he worked 10 years. They laid off his whole department. He got hired in corporate at T-Mobile, and within 6 months, they laid him off and he had to go get another job. So, and he worked in the tech field, so my point is that if you're going into this with the mindset of, let me hold on to my job because people are losing their jobs left and right, well, what if your job doesn't want to hold on to you? I say the better thing to do is, if your job is doing what it's supposed to do, and if it's not more trouble than what it's worth, keep your job. But also, you need to be making plans. You need to be developing some type of side hustle or some other way to earn money, with the understanding that your job could quit you any single day. You need to be developing some other type of skill, getting some other type of certification, having something on standby just in case your job decides that your services are no longer required. Placing all your bets on your job because you're afraid to go without a job might not necessarily be the right thing. 21 countries have ditched the US dollar, but you're definitely right about the potential infighting. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know, like, the longevity of that group. I don't know, because of the infighting, because of the problems, all the problems that are going on in the Middle East. That's something that we can keep an eye on. But if they can find a way to put their differences aside, then sure, yeah, they can be formidable. But it's definitely something to look at. Y'all, let me fix my hair. I'm sorry. Okay, this gonna bother me. So yeah, make sure that you are, for example, when I was working my teaching job, I knew in January that I was going to be done teaching. So what I did is I made sure I worked my side hustle, put some money aside, stop my spending on clothes and things that I didn't really need, because I knew I was gonna come move here, right? I had a plan in place. I knew I don't want to be here in the US when things hit the fan. I already knew it was too bad. It was to the point where I was mentally on edge every day because traffic was getting so bad. people's attitudes were getting so bad as a result of all the traffic. So accidents were at an all-time high. I would come to work, parents would be on edge, kids would be so on edge that they would just be on substances just to deal with life. Y'all, these kids are 16, 17, 18 years old, and they are on substances just to deal with life. And these are children. Imagine how adults feel. How's your new job going? I'm liking it really well. So yeah, I'm teaching English online, so I like it a lot. Thank you for asking. So I already knew that things were only going to get worse. So I'm a history teacher. For those of y'all who don't know, my certification is in social studies. So history falls up underneath that umbrella. So that's what I was teaching last year. And when I would teach the Great Depression, you know, a lot of times when y'all learned that unit in high school, they taught it as the stock market crashed on one day, and that's what sent us into the depression. When that's not true, and that's not how I taught it. There were a series of indicators that happened a few years prior to the stock market crash, which led to the stock market crashing. So you had people they spent more than what they had. So a lot of people had gone into debt. You had credit debt at an all-time high. You had people going out and spending less money. So spending had slowed down. You had these mass layoffs. So basically what happened is the people who recognized it early were able to go in and get their money out the bank and get their money at the stock market. What happened when the stock market crashed was that you had all the people who were late to the party who decided, hey, at the same time, it's already hit the fan so bad. At the same time, we're going to go pull all our money out. And what happened is you had those who were able to get in early enough, who came in and were able to get their life savings out. But a lot of people were just too late to the game, and they ended up losing everything in the stock market crash. So these are things that y'all have to understand, and you're going to be prepared by understanding and not being in denial before everybody else who finally wakes up and realizes it. Okay. And that's all I have to say about that. So moving on, we're going to talk about these nasty teachers. I am so sick of these women. And I know a lot of the times, you know, a lot of the fellas, they feel like I'm bashing the brothers. But I mean, honestly and truly, I don't really care about all them feelings. I'm just going to speak the truth. With that said, I've noticed a lot of these women teachers have been in the news lately, and they are disgusting. Okay. With that said, y'all know I was a teacher. Y'all know I had students that you have when you're a teacher, especially when you teach high school, and you're dealing with kids who hormones are all over the place. They're gonna try you as a teacher. They're gonna try you. They're gonna say something crazy to you. I've had a student come in my room. And the door was open. If you came in my room as a student, leave my door open. But he came in my room, and because he had turned 18 that day, he felt like he could ask me out on a date. Okay. I've had students make comments under their breath and say certain things, but as a teacher, I never played about that. Okay. If you said something inappropriate to me, then baby, I was going to embarrass you in front of everybody else. You were going to think twice before you approached me in that way. And it wasn't in a laughing, smiling, stop playing. Like, no, I'm a grown woman. Your child, stay in a child's place. Go read you a book, baby. Matter of fact, where's your daddy? You know, like that was always my attitude. But I would also see other female teachers who did not handle it. That you could tell when there are female teachers who they like the attention. And for me, it didn't really flatter me too much because as a grown woman, you know, grown men give me attention and they get on my nerves with that, to be honest. So I'm not going to be flattered by a 15 or 16 or 17 or 18-year-old because this is normal. So with some of these women, I'm wondering, like, did you not get attention in high school? Did the boys not like you in high school? And then I look at them and some of them be cute. So I'm like, well, I know that wasn't the case. What is it? I don't understand. You do be bashing brothers. I mean, well, that's your opinion. I mean, if you feel that way, I'm not gonna argue. I'm an equal opportunist over here. Now, I'm gonna say this. Let me be clear. I having grown up as a woman, right? And I know there are women who mess with little girls and little boys and stuff like that. But having grown up as an attractive child, I was always far more safer in the company of adult women being left alone than I ever was being left alone with grown men. This is just the reality of it. And just because I say that doesn't negate the fact that there are women who are female predators. I don't think it's at as high a rate as men, but I do think that they're out there and I will call them out. Heavy on what's your self-worth, baby. Like, it's like you should, as a grown woman, you should be too embarrassed to be associated with a child. It's like it's lame, it's nasty. That's horrible that grown women feed into that. Yes, no, you will see it. They laugh, smile, giggle, do all that, and it have you wondering, like, girl, like if there weren't other people around, would you like feed into that? I would have conversations with my boys sometimes and be like, hey, grown women come with X, Y, Z. You're young, go live your life. Like, that's not cool. And the problem is, a lot of these boys' uncles and fathers would encourage this type of behavior. Like, a lot of these boys felt like it was cool for, to allow to try to mess with older women, or allow older women to mess with them, because their uncles and their dads were condoning this type of behavior. But as women, we know that that's not right. So a lot of times, it's the moms that get upset when they find out. But a lot of these boys, and I would have to explain to these young men, sir, look at your uncle or your daddy or your father and whoever is teaching you this. Are they happy when it comes to women? Oh, well, nah, miss, they always got drama, or my daddy got 3 or 4 baby mamas. Okay, so do you think this is the person you need to be taking advice from in terms of what you should and should not be experiencing with women? Well, when you say it like that, when you put it like that, miss. But a lot of these boys want to be like their fathers. Their fathers are encouraging this. So when a grown woman steps to them, they feel like, oh, this is my opportunity to get some brownie points, or this is my opportunity to prove myself to my peers. And they don't understand these women are taking advantage of them. And whether or not they know it, it is going to have a psychological effect on them later on. Because what do you think that does to a young man and how he views women, when the women who were supposed to be protecting him were allowing them to cross boundaries with them, and then on top of that, taking advantage of them and sleeping with them? How do you think that makes a young man feel about women in general? What that teaches him is that these women are untrustworthy and they're trifling and scandalous. Have you ever had a conversation with the teachers about it? No. No, to be honest. I'll keep it real. You see it so much that it's kind of like, this is how the teaching works, y'all. If you speak up about certain things, if you make trouble about certain things, and you work up under certain principles, you are more likely, especially if you're coming with proof, you are more likely to be treated if you're not coming with proof. If this is all just how you feel, like me saying, oh, a teacher laughed, or, if a teacher says, boy, stop. Well, technically she told him stop, even if she was laughing or giggling and I didn't like the way she said it, So me just going off of vibes and feelings, that can get you in a lot of trouble in an industry like teaching, where if you're not coming with 100% proof about something, you're more likely to get in trouble, or bring yourself up under, put yourself on the bad side of school administration, if, just for bringing it to their attention. Because at the end of the day, what's in the best interest of school administration is that you are not bringing in problems. And if you bring them those type of problems, or if the teacher gets upset because you said something to her, now you're on the radar as the troublemaker or the problem maker. So me personally, I don't speak up about things like that unless I have proof, or unless like I have to see something like, okay, this little girl was sitting in this teacher's lap. You get what I'm trying to say? It has to be that. I can't just go off of vibes and feelings and I don't like the way that you said no, you know? Hey, Binky, what's up, girl? Good to see you here. Lunch hour going up. Okay, y'all. All right. If y'all hear some rain, it's raining out here. I love it when it rains. That was a great conversation to have with your male students. Yeah. And I mean, for me, it was easier as a teacher. It was easier for me to talk to my young students that I had influence over about those type of situations and be like, hey, don't interact with this with a teacher like this, or don't let a teacher interact with you like this. Go speak up and go say something. It's easier to have the conversations with the children than to go try to have it with another adult, and then they try to make it seem like you're crazy or you're causing problems or you're trying to blow the situation up. It's like, okay, let me try to teach my kids what to look out for and what is and is not appropriate, you know? And again, you got to understand a lot of this is coming from their parents, especially the young boys. A lot of these young boys' fathers are teaching them that it is okay and expected, and that they are going to get brownie points if they are knocking teachers down, sleeping with teachers. So the boys will kind of come at you aggressively unless they know. Like after a while, the boys knew, oh, Miss Brown, she ain't nothing to play with. I'm going to get embarrassed if I come at her like that. Or she's going to put another thing I would do is get out, just leave my classroom. I don't care. Where, Miss Brown, where you want me to go? I don't care where you go. But come back another day when you're ready to be appropriate. Get out of my face. The adults probably get defensive. So talking to the student makes sense. Yes. And I was one of those people, especially by the second semester, y'all. I was so like, I'm trying to get out of here. I'm trying to leave this job. I'm trying to leave the United States. I did not want to be sitting up in the principal's office having conversations with teachers about anything, trying to work out drama. That's how I stayed out of drama. I stayed up out of most of them teachers' face. I had like 3 that I would talk to on a regular. But as far as teacher drama and being friends with everybody, I stayed in my classroom, really. All right, so I'm gonna show y'all this IG post. So this is on Dallas, Texas TV. I'm gonna share this tab. All right, so this says Texas teacher arrested after she is caught having smegs with a student at a home under construction. High school teacher Jennifer Massey was charged with improper relationship between educator and student. A second-degree felony is being held at the Como County Jail. Authorities confirmed that Massey was caught having sex with a male juvenile student. Okay, so let's see what some of the comments say. Somebody said, y'all can't be this desperate, but they are. But they are. And this is happening more and more and more. Incoming comments from men wishing that they were sexually abused in high school. Exactly. And again, I understand why. First of all, again, I'm going to go back to the science of it. And this is where a lot of people start saying I bash men. Oh, well, I don't care. Science is science. Men and women are not the same. There are plenty of study to suggest that. But you got these young boys who are high in testosterone. You got these men who are high in testosterone. You got a lot of people who is just constantly on their mind, smeg. And they don't have the mindset, all smeg ain't good smeg. All of it ain't good, y'all. All of it ain't good. You got to be able to decline some. This woman ain't even all that for people to be wishing that she did anything to them. Okay. What's weird is that we saw smashing a teacher as a badge of honor growing up, not realizing it was pervert behavior on the teacher's part. Oh, and this was a man that said that. And that's what I used to explain to my male students. And I would have this conversation with my female students, especially when I would see them, you know, you know, interactions where it'd be a little too cheesy, gritty with an adult male. I would let the female students know, you think that these adults are talking to you or flirting with you because you're just that chick or you're just that dude and you're so much more mature. And you might be mature as compared to your other peers around you, but you at 16 ain't nowhere near the mental capacity of somebody who's 26, 30, 40. You not messing with them. They're running circles around you. The only reason why they're dating you is because they're lame to the people that are their age. And even if they're not, because you would be surprised at the amount of good looking coaches who will flirt with young girls. The reason is a lot of times it don't even be because they can't get women their own age. It's that they don't want to do right by women their own age. A young girl that's 16 or 15 years old is going to feel like you that dude if every time she asks you to buy some McDonald's, knowing that y'all not supposed to have food delivered to the school, you going to order it and bring her food. You might break her off a little bit of money. She going to be gassed. She going to sleep with you whenever you want to, versus a grown woman you're going to have to work more for. So a lot of times it don't even be that they can't get somebody their age. They just don't want to do anything. They don't want to do the work. They want to go where it's easier, and then they take advantage of children. And that's why that whole women are best between the ages of 18 and 25, that has a child toucher, that has a predator undertone to it. And I don't care what nobody says about it. I just don't understand why they won't learn from others that have done this. It's so gross. It's like a compulsion at this point. Like these people are operating at a predatory and animalistic level. If a moment with a child at a construction site is more important than your freedom, then you deserve to be in that jail. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I thought I was sharing. Hold on. I thought I was sharing this. Give me 1 second. Present. Share screen. Okay. Hopefully y'all can see this woman. There we go. Now y'all can see her. This year has seen a surge in female teachers sexually assaulting their students. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. This is why it's so bad to the point where we can't ignore it. It's so much. And nobody can tell me, like, I know a lot of young boys are saying, well, this used to happen when we were kids. And I don't believe that it was happening at the level that it is happening now. And yes, I guess maybe social media could mean it's getting reported more or we're seeing it more. But I think there's genuinely an upsurge. Like a woman like this, look at her, y'all. Did y'all know this used to be the strict teacher? Look at her. This looked like the teacher that used to be strict. She closing that door. When the bell rings, you better go get your tardy pass, high expectations. Like you couldn't have told me that a teacher like this back in the day was messing with male students. Okay. Men don't realize they're victims of SA until much later in life. Yeah, and the fact that they don't process their emotions, they don't understand that their interactions with grown women are the reason why that they have a lot of disdain and distrust for women their age, right? Because if the teacher that looks like Nanny McPhee can be out here hunching kids at the construction site, then how am I supposed to feel about all the other women around me in my life? They always look busted and disgusted. And then I've also seen the real fine ones. I saw a teacher who was 26, who was a beautiful, beautiful girl, like looked like she would be in a music video type chick, you know? And she out here messing with the boys who are, I think the student was in middle school. I think he was in middle school. But we're seeing this, and my whole thing is you got women out here who you don't want to date men your age because you don't like how they treat you. How do you think a boy that's in high school or middle school sees you? It's only for the moment. It's only if y'all been around kids in high school and their relationships don't last. If they last a month, I'd be surprised. The boys get bored quick. They want to go on to the next thing. So a lot of the times you think because you're older that these boys like put you on a pedestal or that they love you so much. And the appeal to you as a grown woman is that they can't have you. That's the appeal. And they shouldn't be able to have you, right? But you have these grown women indulging in that, right? And then in turn, it makes the boys look at the girls their age some type of way because it's like, oh, this is how you grow up to behave. This is what y'all grow up to do, you know. And I was watching, I was looking at Princella, the Queen Maker, her timeline today. So a lot of men, they did not like Princella because she was doing her YouTube rounds, right? Getting her name out there, building her channel. And she was coming with the science-based information on why women are having the problems that they are having with men and the way that men think. And a lot of men, and the fact that a lot of men are simply incapable of love because they cannot see past smegs. Like that is the number one motivator. So a lot of brothers were upset at her, but a lot of the women were happy that she was coming out with this type of information, right? Because she was making it all make sense. But guess what? When you are coming at something from an intellectual perspective and you're not a grifter, everybody got to get their due, right? So she's made it clear, I'm off of the men. I've given y'all all I can give about them. This channel was not to sit up here and create a support group for y'all to come bash men. I was just giving the information. Now we're going to talk about the women in the part that y'all play and the fact that y'all be desperate. These men couldn't even do what they are doing if y'all are not as desperate as you are. And now you got the women getting mad at her. You got the women saying that, oh, this whole time she was just plotting. She was trying to gain the trust of women. And now she's on men's side. When it's like, no, you know, true accountability is being able to look in the mirror in the part that you played. And then I see stuff like this every day. And I'm seeing it more and more frequently. And you got women out here saying that we shouldn't be talking about the stuff that women are out here doing. You got women out here acting like it's a myth that the vast majority of women are desperate for eggplant when you got school teachers out here messing with little boys. If that ain't desperate, I don't know what else is. High Socratic mind. Wow, that happened in my hometown. But I've always wondered, how does it get to that point? Did the student get her socials and slid a DM and hope for a wing and a prayer that she take the bait? It probably happened at school. It probably happened in the classroom. Again, these kids will get bold and say something, but it's your responsibility as the adult to check and redirect that behavior. The women aren't feeling her as much now. Oh yeah, they don't like her now because she's on women's heads. But that you are not going to change your behavior by being comfortable. And that's the problem. A lot of people, this isn't just women, because it's men too. Because I remember how hot the men were when she wasn't even telling the men about themselves because her audience was women. She was trying to get women to understand. Right. But I think people want to make everybody else the big bad instead of trying to understand. And then now that I have an understanding, let me check myself and see how I've been contributing to this whole entire problem. See, accountability became the hot topic since the rise of the manosphere, since the rise of the pink pill, the red pill. Like everybody wants to hold the other gender accountable. But when it's time to hold self accountable, now people don't want to hear that. That's not a popular message. It's not sexy. Now you're grifting just because you balance the equation out. Unfortunately, a lot of women don't like accountability. We aren't perfect, and for some reason, the mirror frightens some of us. Exactly, right? People don't like to look in the mirror because once you look in the mirror, now it requires work of yourself. You get what I'm trying to say? This is what looking in the mirror looks like, okay? And it can be lonely. So, y'all know I'm out here in Colombia, and I'm a single woman. There are some caveats to that. I'm a single woman with a child. So I'm not out here. I can't be out on dates every single weekend. Not only am I a single woman with a child, but I'm also a woman that wants to do certain things in life. So I can't be texting on the phone to everybody all day long. So I met a guy here at my gym. Fine, handsome, in shape, look good. Okay. That man told me in that first day that we started talking that he don't want nothing serious. So that's code for, at this point in my life, I'm just trying to sleep with people. I'm just trying to sleep around, right? Now, before he even told me that, there's this girl that works at the gym, and she told me, once I told her, oh, okay, I asked, he was interested. So I asked about him because I seen him talking. She said, well, he got his heart broke by a girl. Now, the work that I've done on myself lets me know, don't be out here. I feel bad for you, sir, but I'm not Captain Saber. You're not going to mistreat me just because you got your heart broke. And I'm not going to waste my time trying to prove to you that I am not like the girl who cheated on you and left you for another man, right? So if you tell me at this point that you're not looking for something serious, guess what? I believe you. I believe you. Right. And another thing, since I know that I don't want to just, have something quick or somebody to just sleep with and go on. Guess what? It was my responsibility at that time to say, this man has told me that he's not interested in nothing serious. He clearly just wants to sleep around. That is not in alignment with what I want in my life. Let me go about my business and draw a clear boundary. Right. A lot of women will hear that. Let this dude run up and through me and not give me what I want. And now he's nasty. He's the bad guy. He's a low down dirty dog. Right? When it was your responsibility to assess the situation. Let me see what y'all talking about. We getting deep this live. We getting into it. There was a recent case where a female teacher used her students to look out while she had sex with the student in her classroom. I saw that too. Shadow work. Hey, Estelle. Hey, everybody that just came in. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Thank y'all for showing up to the lunch hour. We do this every day. I go live at 12:05. Thank you, Skinny Boy. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Y'all follow me on TikTok at Thepassportsis. And on Instagram, I'm Mariah Sincere as well. Okay, so a lot of people mistook when Priscilla was giving them the knowledge on men. A lot of women mistook that as an opportunity for them to sit up and feel validated and feel heard, but not a call to action, right? I'm telling y'all another thing that happened to me recently. I was talking to a dude, right? And he got all these nice things to say, but 2 weeks went by and he ain't planning to meet up. It's 2 weeks. It ain't like it's 3, 4, 5 days. It's 2 weeks. You ain't planning on meetups. Guess what? Do you think I got on his phone, writing a long paragraph, letting it be known that I'm exiting stage right? No. I already see that you're not trying to meet up with me. So guess what? I just cut it off. I don't have nothing else to say to you. Like, I don't have time. I don't like texting, so I'm not going to waste my own time. That's another thing. Y'all like to call everybody, not y'all, but y'all know who I'm talking about. These people that don't like to be self-accountable. like to call everybody else time wasters, but don't sit up and realize how they waste their own time, breath, and energy. So what I learned about men is a lot of time men don't learn through you communicating. They learn with what you physically accept. So you got to be about that action. But my point is, you got a lot of women out here who are learning the psychology of men and how they think and how they behave, and they're not doing anything with that, but want to sit up and throw a pity party and still keep getting played, still keep getting done wrong, and now it's the man's fault. How? It's different when you don't know. But when you have the information and you still out here getting played, people are still running the same game and tricks on you. You a dummy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You cannot blame the man. You just cannot. Okay. You don't want to learn. You don't want to be accountable. You want to keep behaving the way that you want to keep behaving and expect to get a different result. You want life in the world to shift and change around you. And that's not how any of this goes. So I'm glad that Priscilla is now shifting the message more towards women. It's like, I done gave you the message. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to be about that action, or are you going to get on because your feelings are hurt? Because now you got to look at self. Girl, look, I even plan to come on here with all that today. I promise y'all it was supposed to be a calm day. But I saw that and I was like, oh baby, no. We got to talk about this. So with that said, and y'all, I'm also a channel about, I have both people that watch me. Most of my viewers are females, but I'll always say the door is open on my channel to men who want to do better and be accountable, right? To men who want to move beyond a certain space. And then at the same time, as a woman on my channel, I'm not going to ignore the stuff like this that I got up on my screen that's going on for the sake of a narrative, or trying to make like women seem that they're innocent. These are the type of women who, like, if this happens to one of my male cousins, if he was in high school, me and my family members would be dragging that woman, baby. We would be turning her every single way but loose. I fell back from a few YouTube channels because the men are just soaking up the content creators' rhetoric and trauma bonding in that chat. Yeah, there's no growth. It's all just, and trust me, on the female side of this thing, it's the same thing. It's like you got a couple different factions. You got the women who are just straight up mammies, who are always like, it's the men. I'm sorry, it's the women. So you got those type. I never trust nobody like that, right? I will never trust a woman like that. If you want to sit up and pretend, like, I listened to a female content creator who was saying that women are wrong for warning their female daughters about the dangers that come with men. Men warn their daughters about the dangers that come with men. You think I'm going to tell my daughter that she needs to go inside of a building, a party, and it ain't nothing but boys there? You think I'm not going to warn her about something like that? Oh, y'all teaching these girls to fear men before they even become of age. It's y'all poisoning them. No, you teaching them about the realities that's going to happen. Because if your daughter take her butt up in that party and get gang raped, people are going to say it was her fault because she shouldn't have been there. And a man going to tell his daughter the same thing. So I heard this same female content creator again say, you should be looking for a man who's a protector or a provider. You shouldn't be caring about what he looks like. It don't matter if he's fat, ugly, bald, as long as he's a protector and provider. Now, I knew she didn't mean what she was talking about, because the men that we have seen her date have all been fine. So you're not getting with nothing ugly. You're not getting with nothing big and unattractive, but you're on here telling women that they are masculine if they say stuff like, oh, I have to be some type of attracted to the man. You're not dating men that aren't attractive. But women are mad, and that's crazy. Humans in general are attracted to beauty. We all are. being attracted to beauty, that's not a creation of the masculine. That's femininity. All beautiful things. When you think about decorations and flower arrangements and all of that, that all comes from the feminine side, the feminine creation, the Mother Earth, things like that. So you got these women on here grifting. You also got the other side of the women who are like, men deserve nothing. It's men, 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 men. And they never talk about the wrong that women do. And then on the flip side, you got men who are just trauma bonding with other men. It's like, oh, she not yours. It's just your turn. And just all this foolishness. I remember you challenging you when I first found you, but I liked your answer and decided to stay. LOL. Oh, well, thank you, skinny boy. Yeah, because at the end of the day, I want to get to the bottom of things, right? I don't have a narrative. I'm just giving my opinion, but I don't really have a type of agenda that I'm pushing on here. I come and tell y'all what I genuinely think at the time. My thoughts and opinions are subject to change upon new evidence. You can change my mind if the argument is compelling enough. And that's the thing. A lot of these people have created these channels where they have backed themselves into a corner. So if you make a channel and the whole MO of your channel is to bash women or to bash men and make them the problem, then you're going to forever have to do that, because unless you have the courage to say, hey, you know what? I don't mind course correcting, or I don't mind coming with a different message, because the ones that don't like it will leave and I'll gain new followers. But a lot of people don't even have the guts to do that. What usually happens is they will continue to say things even if they don't believe them anymore, because you have built a foundation on that. So now your supporters and the people who are giving you money or doing your consultations with you or purchasing your services, they are expecting you to fit into that narrative. And when you don't deliver that, they no longer support you. Practice what you preach is real. People won't believe you if you live opposite from what you speak on. Yeah, like, ma'am, you expect me to sit up here and believe that you're anything other than a grifter, and you're telling women to date whatever type of man as long as he got some money and he's a protector and provider, but everybody you date is fine. Everybody you date look good. Girl, stop. Stop it. Okay. Content creators are pandering for that super chat and cash app money. Plus, it helps you get followers faster. Yeah, I mean, it's a slower way to the top. But you know what? There are some YouTubers out here that, you know, that aren't doing that. You know, and I think if you're in this YouTube space, and if you're watching me and you have a YouTube channel, know that putting in that hard work and building a solid foundation of like-minded people. And by like-minded, it could simply be open-minded. You know, for me, I don't necessarily see a like-minded person as somebody who thinks the exact same as me, but I feel like most of the people that come into my chat room are people who can see things at different angles. And even if we don't see it the same, to me, we're like-minded, because you can hear a different perspective and not necessarily get offended, you know? So we don't have to agree to be like-minded. You understand? But if you just kind of take the slow route, I feel like long-term, you'll get what you need to get. And there are YouTubers out here, and I've seen them. I've seen plenty of them. Y'all just got to get out of that manosphere space. Y'all just got to get out of them, the pink pills. Y'all got to get out of these spaces. There are plenty of YouTubers who are not on here pandering, who are making more money than the people who are on here pandering. I promise you they are. Still getting super chats. Still having good business. I promise you there are. I've seen it. All right. So yeah, but this is a mess. These teachers messing with these kids. This is another reason for y'all. Y'all need to have conversations with y'all kids on a regular basis before they go to school about these adults. right? You as the parent, when you see inappropriate stuff happening, that's when you need to be checking these teachers about it, having conversations about it. And honestly and truly, it's so bad at public school. When I talk to the teachers at my old school and they tell me what's going on up there, you can't pay me to miss it. I miss my kids. I miss some of my teacher friends and like, but as far as being there every single day and the stuff that's going on in public school, it is not an environment that is conducive to the entire purpose that the institution was created, which was education. We've fallen so far beyond that, and a lot of it isn't even the teacher's fault. It's the school district's fault. It's too much government being involved in schools' faults, and unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. Yes, I'm on the road to 100K subscribers. Y'all. I'm already at 760. So again, if you've been watching me or you're just tuning in, make sure y'all hit the subscribe button and notification bell today. All right, now let's get into my girl, Miss Tia Mawry. Now, is that how you say it, Mawry or Mawry? Give me 1 second, y'all. So we all know that Tia Mawry, I guess maybe a couple years ago, she decided that she wanted to divorce her husband, okay, Corey Hardrick. Now, he's a really quiet kind of guy. I really don't have an opinion on him, to be honest. I was actually kind of like surprised when they decided to get a divorce. Y'all know Tia has for the longest been the favorite twin. And part of that has been for the wrong reasons, to be honest. I like both of the girls. I like Tamara and I like Tia. But a lot of people felt a way about Tamara because she married a white man who I believe he worked on, what's his name? Adam Halsey. I think he worked for Fox News. So, people talk bad about her. They called her a bed wench and everything under the sun when she is really a nice, wholesome, classy lady. All she does is go to work and go home and be with those kids. And she's really unproblematic. But I think because people are so small-minded and everything is about race, people kind of pit the twins against each other a little bit. It was like Tia's the favorite and we don't like Tamara because she married a white man, which we need to stop doing that on both sides. Like I don't care who nobody get married to, who they are in a relationship with. I don't care. I ain't sleeping with none of these people. LOL, I've heard both pronunciations. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna say Tia Mawry. I don't know, baby. Tia fell out with her sister recently. She's definitely the problem, in my opinion. Well, and then we don't know. So I didn't watch the show. Y'all remember when the twins had the show? I never watched their show, but people said they've been having problems since that show. And a lot of people took issue with the fact that people were bashing Tamara and Tia never really came to her defense, which to be honest, I haven't kept up with them enough to know if she did or if she did not. Like I didn't watch the show to see if she came to her defense. I don't know like that. They're mixed with white, so I never understood that. Yeah, they're mixed with white and their father is white. So it's like the first example of a man in their household was a white man. So I don't understand. As a biracial person, y'all, I really don't understand when people feel a way about us choosing whichever race to date. Cause it like my dad is white. My father is white. Am I a bad wench if I decide to go date a white man? Now that's not generally who I tend to date. I'm not saying I haven't like went out on some dates with white dudes, but I just don't understand. Their dad's white, and well, people are so goofy. Yeah, like that was their first example of what a man was, And me personally, I wasn't raised in the house with my dad. I was raised in the house with my mom, and I was always raised in a immigrant community where it was predominantly Black and Hispanic. So I've always tended to date. I probably dated Hispanic men the most, and then Black guys, right? So it's like I had less of that influence in my life, but still, I don't understand the problem. Dr. Umar has entered the chat. Not Dr. Umar. Yeah, nah, for real. Because they sitting up, he talked about her. Like always talking about people, you know, dating other races or dating mixed race people. Y'all, it's hard out here already to find love. You know, now I don't agree with people dating outside of their race just because you feel negatively about your race, right? Because a lot of times what ends up happening in those situations is you're still you, so you go find the same type of person that you were dating within your own race in another race of people, right? It has to be about more than that. It has to be about values, what you want, and alignment. You understand? But other than that, who cares? My daughter, who's in this photo, is mixed, and it's too much politics on this issue. Yeah, way too much. I think we just need to quit trying to go back to 1920 or 30, right? A lot of people don't know that at one point in this country, right after the Civil War, that mixing between the races was legal. Yes, it was, y'all. It was, right? You during Jim Crow, which didn't happen right after the Civil War, right? But during Jim Crow, that's when you got the mixing of races become illegal. But at one point, before Jim Crow, white people and black people were living more closely in community and marrying each other and doing things. See, a lot of people don't know the history. I ain't gonna get into it. Tatiana, you making too much noise. It's okay. We're talking to my daughter, y'all. So I thought I saved. Okay. I thought I saved that. Let me go. I'm gonna find it on YouTube. I'm gonna find it on YouTube. No, I can go on the shade room. Give me 1 second. I'm trying not to react to too much stuff on YouTube because they've been flagging videos. I'll find it on here. I would do better off just trying to find this on YouTube. Y'all, not Neo. Y'all, I'm tired of seeing Neo face. We're not even gonna talk about him today. I just want that man to accept his sexuality so bad. I really do. I really do. Cause we been known that boy be popping pussy. But it's okay. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Okay, I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and find this. 1 second, y'all. So basically, I'm gonna kind of like give y'all a summary while I'm looking for it. Tia Mawry said that Corey was her first ever, you know, she lost her virginity to him. Which honestly and truly, I believe that. Because first of all, y'all already know Lisa and Ray was not having that up under their roof. Y'all already know they didn't let them girls be fast. So let's start there. And you know, they grew up real wholesome. Their parents were like momagers, dadagers. So they were child stars. I don't think anything happened to them in the industry. So I believe that she didn't lose her virginity until 25. I know she started dating Corey when she was 20. So I already know it was hard for her to leave that relationship. 1 second, y'all. Okay. Oh, can I share this? It's on E-News. Oh, I'm scared to share it because I feel like they're gonna flag me. You know what? I'm scared, y'all. I'm scared. I'm scary. Oh, scary at. I'm scared. Okay, so basically, guys, I'm not gonna pull up the video because the only sources I can find it for are like E-News stuff that probably like they're not smaller content creators. They would probably try to claim copyright. So basically, Tia said Corey was her first, Right. And then she also said she would come home and feel alone in that relationship. And a lot of people were bashing her and they were like, okay, well, you let that go, or just because you felt alone in a relationship. Y'all give me 1 minute. So so she came out and said that. So a lot of people were like, well, you could have just kept the relationship together even if you felt alone. But if you've never been in that situation, and I've been in that situation, that is worse. That is worse than actually being single. It's like, dang, I got somebody here, but emotionally they're not here, or we don't connect. And I never really just saw Corey seems real serious. Like I never saw him kind of doing anything fun with her or wanting to be involved. A part of me feels like Corey might have gotten with Tia because hey, she's a good girl. Like she's a good girl. She's a good woman, you know. So why not get with her? So why not get with her? She's pretty. But then on top of that, I remember Corey, y'all know, she said she picked him up at the bus stop. She met him at the bus stop. He was an aspiring actor. So it's like she had a lot more going on. So I feel like for him, part of that was just, okay, being a part of her, you know, they say clout now, you know, and she was the breadwinner. And that's not to talk bad about Corey. I actually like Corey. I feel like he's been very mature even through this whole process. He's been very mature. He ain't been acting like DDG, which we gonna talk about him. I just could see him not being somebody that is fun or emotionally available just because how he acts in interviews or in public. He just don't come off as that kind of dude. So I can understand a woman saying, you know what, I want to just go ahead and experience life without coming home and feeling like it's me. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the times, and this goes back to people knowing this is just this person's personality. They would be this way if they weren't with you. If they're with another person, they'd be that way. But women, we internalize things. So if you come home and your man is sad and depressed acting, or he don't want to talk, or he don't want to have fun, we automatically internalize that as he doesn't like being around me. He doesn't like me. And some of that might even be true, especially if you had a man. I've been in a relationship like this. This man would be so fun and turned up when his homeboys came around. But it's like when we were alone together, it's like you either dry, you don't want to talk, you don't want to have fun, you don't want to hear anything I have to say. It felt so lonely. So when you see a person be able to come out and have a big personality when they get around certain people, but when they're around you, that leaves you nothing but space to think, well, they just don't like me. And if you're not confident and secure in yourself, then you can internalize that and it becomes, I'm an unlikable person. I'm an unlovable person. So people making it seem like that's not a reason to divorce somebody. That absolutely is, because it messes with your psyche. And yeah, you could go to therapy and try to learn that, okay, well, it's not me, it's that person, and try to stay in a relationship. But it's hard for you to grasp that until y'all are actually broken up. They playing crazy on YouTube. Can't wait till those other platforms grow like Rumble Rofkin. Yeah, that's true. The famous boxer Jack Johnson was with a white woman in the 30s. They created a law to try to stop him. Yeah, black people and white people been mixing. I'm sorry, I'm catching up on the comments, y'all. Neo may be on the Diddy's tapes. Wouldn't be surprised. Girl, I'm quite sure. What do you mean? Hell yeah. Y'all remember when people first came out making, there was a whole, y'all remember this was like in 2010. There was a documentary. It was like one of them hood documentaries that everybody could buy from the bootlegger on DVD, and it was talking about the Illuminati, and they had Neo all up and through there. Do y'all remember that? I don't know what that DVD was called, but we all watched it. Neo real close with Diddy. He definitely on them tapes. Yeah, and he got all these women. I guess he called himself being a polygamist now, sir. I don't care how many girlfriends you have at one time. We know what's up. Neo always seemed a bit zesty to me. Okay. Tia and Tamara seemed very, very sheltered. They were. They're even now as grown women, like now Tia will make certain videos trying to be like sexy, and it's not working for her. Not that she's not a beautiful woman, it's just she don't have sex appeal. Like she don't give harlot. She don't give Jezebel. She don't give none of that, you know? And that ain't to talk bad about the women that's sexy. It's just she don't give none of that. I like that Tia is living for herself now. Yeah, me too. That's okay. It's okay to decide later on in life you want to go experience something for yourself. And guys, there are plenty of couples who, if it was really meant to be, they just needed some time apart, they come back together. Right? And it's not like they ended on bad terms or that they've been doing each other greasies. For real though, for real. I love the twins. They are as proper get. Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're just wholesome, and I think that's okay. I think that works for them. Everybody don't got to be sexy. Corey, I'm sure, was a good man. Jamal said that. Yeah, like I don't get it that Corey was a bad man at all. Like I think I think with him, and from what she was saying, it's just he wasn't giving, she didn't feel no passion, or he didn't want to do any activities with her, or she probably, you know what, his idea of a good man is I come home and I help pay bills and we don't do too much arguing, when she probably just wanted more help in the day-to-day with the kids, planning activities, doing stuff with kids, going places together, being happy together. So it just seemed like it was submitted. From what she's saying, it don't seem like he was a bad dude. It was just, it was submitted. It's not what she was looking for in a life partner. Hey GMS, what's up? What's up? Yes, GMS from the GMS show. Thank you for popping in. A lot of dudes don't really like their spouse for real. Oh, I know, this is what I know. They don't like them at all. A lot of the times they might get with somebody for utility. Like it made sense. Like, okay, this woman is a hard worker, so she'll help me pay. You know, we can, with her, we can get a house together because we'll go half on the house, and then now I got a house, and now I've got money that I've been able to save up. So now I can take my money and go spend on the women that I want to actually sleep with. You know, so I'll go spend my money on them, have my side chicks, she helping me hold down half of the expenses, so it turn me up and make me look good to the side chicks. Or okay, I want to go somewhere in my career. This woman has access to this, or she might have a rich family, or a rich father, or she might be in some social groups that I want to be in. So, like, people talk about women in hypergamy all the time, but men practice it too. Like, come on, let's be clear. Men practice it too. It might not necessarily be that they're go and look for a rich woman, but they look for a woman that's going to help elevate them economically or socially, you know? And that don't necessarily mean the woman has to be rich. It just has to mean that when the math is done at the end of the month, he's spending a lot less money on basic expenses than what he would if he was living by himself. That's kind of how it was for me in my last relationship, to be honest. It was hard to be joyful. Yeah, you know, and I think a lot of times, like when you recognize that, you know, I feel like as men should have the courage that if you're with somebody, you know, you don't like them like that, or you don't vibe with their personality, exit, just go ahead and leave that woman alone so somebody that likes her can actually come be around her. I've also seen women do this. I've seen women stay in relationships and be held to be around with men they don't really like, and it comes down to finances and economics. So that's happening on both sides. So I don't agree with people that are out here bashing Tia Mawry because she decided to leave the marriage, say, okay, well, if I already feel alone in this relationship, let me just go ahead and be alone for real. Either one or two things are going to happen. She's going to realize that she wasn't as alone as she thought she was, or she's going to realize, you know what, it's better to be alone and be single and be happy and be joyful. People need to stop trying to make fetch happen. Y'all see Mean Girls? stop trying to make that happen. It isn't going to happen. Like, stop trying to make stuff work that's not working just because you want to project your own fears and insecurities about failed relationships and marriages on other people. And just because a relationship does not last does not mean it failed. People always look at the fact that people didn't stay together until one person died and say, oh, that relationship failed. And they don't think about all the other stuff that they may have accomplished together. Sometimes things just simply run their course, and that's okay. So the last thing we're going to talk about is that dang DDG. Y'all, I do not like that little boy. I don't like that little boy. So y'all know him and Joe Budden got into it. For those of y'all who don't know about these young whippersnappers, we in little kids' business. Well, they're not that much younger than me. I don't know why I feel old. But DDG is a popular YouTuber, and he was dating Halle Bailey, and they had a baby together. Now, Halle Bailey is unequivocally the bigger star in that situation. Like, she's done a Disney movie, she's done Grownish. She's done a couple other movies that I've seen come out even this year. Her and her sister sing together. They were discovered by Beyonce on YouTube. People are checking for her music. She has a fan base. Her sister has a fan base. So it was nothing but a come up for DDG to get with Halle Bailey because she is the bigger star. Now, if you know anything about DDG, before Halle Bailey, he was dating Ruby Rose. Now, if you look at Ruby Rose and you look at Halle Bailey, these are two different kind of girls. And I know sometimes, not everybody has a type. They date two different people, but just judging based off of Ruby Rose, judging by the fact that he kind of embarrassed Halle Bailey because he was messaging Ruby while they were together, I feel like Ruby Rose is more his type. Okay. Let me see if I can pull up some pictures to prove my point. Okay. Because I really feel like DDG got with Halle Bailey just because she had bigger star power than him. I'm going to pull up a picture of Ruby Rose. And again, Halle Bailey is a beautiful girl. So that ain't what I'm saying here. Okay. That ain't what I'm saying. So let me share these images. Matter of fact, let me go on Instagram with it. And y'all gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. People getting with folks that's not their type just because it's beneficial. I think this is a fan page of hers. Okay. I'm going to share this. Okay. So can y'all see? Let me make myself smaller. Here go Ruby. This now, I ain't never seen Halle Bailey with no picture like that. This Ruby Rose right here. If y'all ain't seen the girl, I'm sure you had. Okay. Okay. Bent over, bent down, booty out. Twerking. Now, we ain't never seen Halle Bailey on the internet with them cheeks out, bent over like this. Never. All this makeup and wigs, all of that. And again, beautiful girl. I ain't talking bad about her. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. Okay, now let's compare. Let's compare. And then y'all tell me if y'all really think Halle Bailey is DDG type. Okay. Okay, here we go. Fully clothed. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to see. Oh, she look good right there. Okay, girl. She look good in all the pictures. So she's a pretty girl. But she has more of a wholesome look about her. It's a wholesome feel. Okay. See, her and her sister, they've been trying to be a little sexy lately. But even then, there is a touch of class to it. Do y'all understand? She not ratchet about it. You ain't seen her bent over touching her punani yet. Most of her pictures she's taking from the front, not the back. Tasteful. So I feel like that's his real type. Let me catch up on these comments. Diddy actually turned Neo out and introduced him to the lifestyle. Boy, if y'all know anything about men who sing, a lot of them, they already be fruity to begin with. And that's not all. Y'all think the choir, think the altar boy, like think the boys in the choir, right? If you've ever sung in church, the boys that could sing real good in choir. You found your soulmate. I love that for you, GMS. I understand what you mean. I'm ex-husband. I've learned my lessons. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Halle should have never got with him. The red flags were there. Been there. Yeah, he's childish. He's a little boy. Okay. Ruby Rose has been around. And I don't know how much of that is she's been around so much as like, because y'all know she was dating Drewski. She came out and said that was a contract relationship and he paid her for all them pictures and stuff, which that happens. But, oh, I did forget. She does OnlyFans and all that. I forgot about all that. Now we need to see your Instagram. Just kidding. Don't you follow me on Instagram? My page is real. It's giving Halle Bailey. My page giving Halle Bailey. A little bit. A broker Halle Bailey. Halle Bailey if she ain't had no money. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna go back and we're gonna see what DDG had to say about relationships. It's giving dust. I'm gonna forewarn y'all. It's not that what I didn't agree with what he said. I'll just let y'all listen and I'll comment. Hold on. Make sure y'all can see. All right.
On the side.
Yeah.
And I said, bro, like, it's best for you to be single in these years of your life so you can really grind.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't nobody going nowhere. Bella ain't going nowhere. Unless a girl get a new or something, but like Bella ain't going nowhere, Brooklyn ain't going nowhere, whatever.
Pause. So basically he's saying when you're young, you should be single so that you should grind. I agree. It's not that there was something wrong in what he said. And this is something that we need to be teaching young girls and young boys. Because I feel like boys are hearing this. Like, oh, don't settle down, try them all. That's the wrong message, though. If you're going to be single, don't grind. Be single and grind and put your thing away. Oh, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. When you got to be single and focused and you not out here just laying it low and spreading it wide. Because kids can come from that. That's why you got all these men who they don't want to settle down when they're young. Okay, cool. But you out here and you got baby mamas or you done got accumulated 1 or 2 baby mamas because you weren't in a relationship, but you still want to sleep around. And if you're going to do it, use protection. Make sure the girl is on birth control, all of that. All right. So it's like that message has to come also with a message of trying to be as abstinent as possible. And nobody's like people are teaching the young men stay single as long as possible. Like I have an uncle who he's very disciplined. The one I told y'all about the trans fighters. And he told his son, don't bring no girl around here talking about you in a relationship until you're about 30. And he did that. I mean, he's almost 30 now. And he finally done brought a girlfriend around. Right? But he was responsible while he was single. With girls, we're taught to rush into relationships. People need to be teaching us during your 20s. That is your time to be focused on career. That is your time to be building something. That way, when you get into a relationship, you don't gotta date somebody just because they have money or they're rich. You have your own money. And if for whatever reason the relationship goes left, you got your own. You can afford, you have kids by your man and y'all split, you can afford to take care of your children. You're not out here ass out because you were chasing relationships and not chasing any type of way to make money. I follow you, you know I'm playing. Yeah. I feel like most Ruby Rose industry relationships are transactions. Yeah, a lot of these relationships are contractual. So it's not like he was saying anything wrong. Let's continue.
You know, whoever you like in this moment.
I'm sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear? Hold on.
Get your ducks in a row first and grind and not have no restriction. It's real restrictions when you're in a relationship.
Yeah,
it's like
definitely.
you gotta always consider their feelings.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't really work how you want to work.
Yeah.
And if I can tell myself something at age 22, I would tell myself not to get in a relationship because it's damn near like having a part-time job, bro.
Yeah.
You really have to.
And he's not lying. And that's on both ends. I'm pretty sure there were plenty of times where they had arguments, or Halle Bailey even felt away because she's trying to do a movie and the movie got a kissing scene or a smeg scene, and she got to mentally prepare her partner for the fact that that's going to be in there. Or DDG might want to collab with some baddie on YouTube, but there are some insecurities coming from her side. So anytime you're working that type of job that requires you to interact with the opposite sex, and you want to do this in your younger years, right? Because that's going to be the most time that you're going to be able to get any type of clout. Yes, it's going to be hard. One of my favorite, I'm not going to say one of my favorite rapper of this new age and generation right now, Central C, he's a UK rapper. He broke up with his girlfriend that he had been with for a couple years because he did that track with Ice Spice. Okay. And somebody put me on to Central C a couple months ago. And y'all, when I tell y'all I like this young man, he can really rap. So I'm like, oh, I don't know nobody that's doing it like him out right now. But it's to the point where he's trying to bridge the gap between UK rap and American rap. He don't got time to be considering no girlfriend's feelings when it's time for him to collaborate with another artist so that he can build his audience and get his clout up. So they broke up because people were calling her dumb and saying he cheated on her. And I don't even think it was that. He just did a song with her and didn't tell his girlfriend that it was going to go the way that it was going to go. Yeah. Yeah, he's not. Relationships are work. Yeah, it's not wrong what he's saying. Yeah, he's not lying. Relationships are a lot of work. Yes. And a lot of people don't have the mental capacity. And even now, I've told y'all, even me now, I don't have the time for a full-time relationship right now because the grinding that I should have been doing when I was between the ages of 18 and 25, I did not do because I was in a relationship. Now, I went to college and got my degree, but at 18, I got into a serious relationship. Stayed with that person until I was 23. Had a baby when I was 23. Y'all understand? Then after we broke up, I got into another serious relationship at 24. Stayed with that man for a couple of years. So it's like all the time and effort that I gave to those relationships, and I was in them, y'all. Like I was all the way in them. I could have been using to build myself up and say, I'm going to put the relationship thing off until I'm where I wanted to be. There are women who started their YouTube channels when they were 18 and we're the same age, and they're where they want to be. Now they can focus on having the kids and having the babies and getting married, and they are, right? But me, I have to say, okay, well, I put relationship first. Now I got to put the money first and the career first and the things I want to do in my life first. So I don't have time for a full-time relationship. Central C is going crazy right now. He's really bridging the gap. Like he's doing something that nobody from the UK has been able to do. So I'm rooting for that young man.
Apply a lot of time and effort. Like you might be doing videos all day and your girl get an attitude when you're doing your last video. Like, when you gonna take me out to eat?
Yeah.
When you gonna take me to the movies, when we gonna go on a date, and then it causes relationship problems in your real life that can affect your content, and you might get mad, get in an argument, you might not want to film the next day, might not want to stream the next day, you might not want to go to the studio the next day, whatever. Like, so I would tell myself, if I was 22, I would say, bro, just grind it out, let a relationship happen.
All right, and here's another thing too that y'all got to understand. A lot of men don't balance, because a lot of women will hear what he's saying and they'll say, well, I got XYZ going on and I still make time for who I want to make time for. But women, we can handle a lot of those emotional ups and downs that come with dealing with relationships better than men. And he just talked about the fact that all of that be so emotionally draining that he don't want to work the next day. And guess what? Even me as a woman, I haven't been in my bag or in my purpose as much as I should have been dealing with the emotional ups and downs of a relationship. So if me as a woman, I understand that it can be difficult. I can only imagine what a man might be feeling when a lot of times they already have a hard time processing emotions. Then they got to deal with chores and then they're trying to work. So you got to understand that. You got to understand that. Yes, y'all, hit the like button. So he's not wrong in what he's saying. I'm going to say he's wrong for, and again, both of them are young. And a lot of times we make dumb decisions while we're young. But at the same time, I do feel like he tried to trap Halle Bailey with that baby. I do feel that way. Now, she got to take some accountability too, because she should have been blamed, knowing that she got her career going, knowing they're not married, knowing that this man has publicly rapped about being jealous of her and her career, knowing that he embarrasses her at every chance that he gets. And people have been telling her that. People been telling her that. And it's like, oh, well, you know, she got this mindset. A lot of times when you tell women about their man, they have this mindset of it's us against the world. Oh, people are just hating on us. Now I'm going to believe what he says more and just dig my heels in deeper instead of taking heed and trying to understand or get some wisdom about the situation. But did y'all hear him say, he was talking to his friend like, oh, you know, you gotta think such and such ain't going nowhere, talking about particular women. And what I will agree with is, and what I would tell a young man is, women aren't going anywhere, right? Meaning, when you get your career together and when you get to where you want to go, there will be women available for you to date. To say specific women that you're dating now are not going anywhere, no, that's not true. The girl that you like right now or that like you right now or so in love with you, I'm not going to say 10 years from now she's going to be available. She might not. You got to decide what is more important. Is the person that's here right now in front of me worth risking or giving up so that I can be in pursuit of these things? This is what true sacrifice is called. And what I feel like a lot of these young men do is they know they're not ready to sit down and they know they're not ready to settle down. So they say, you know what, just so I can always have a tie and connection and she can't all the way move on, let me go on and get her pregnant. Okay. Let me keep going with the video.
Yeah, but only happen when you feel comfortable in yourself as a man. Like,
Yeah.
I would tell me, I'm gonna stop yapping after this. My last comment. I feel like you shouldn't get in relationship until you feel like a nigga can't DM your girl and take your girl. Like, if you feel like it's out there that's more lit than you, more like stable than you, that can take your girl, then you ain't working hard enough.
This was a childish comment to say. This was so childish. And let me explain to you why. It's always going to be a man that's rich. It's always going to be a man that's richer than you, has more money than you, looks better than you. Okay? So if you're comparing whether or not you should be in a relationship to what another man has or what another man has obtained, then you're dating the wrong women to begin with. Let's start there. Because if all it takes is a man coming and flashing money to your girl and she gonna leave you and go be with him, then she didn't like you like that. No way. She didn't get with you for you anyways, and the quality and the character that you display as a man, because that ultimately is going to set you apart. Now, I'm not saying as a man you shouldn't be working hard, that you shouldn't be building your finances, that you shouldn't get yourself together. Oh, of course, because again, a certain type of woman who's also doing that, she's going to want to be with a man that's doing that, right? And I feel like the things that you built around you are ultimately a reflection of your character and hard work. That don't necessarily mean you got to be rich. Okay. And there is a lot of men out here who are not rich. They might be middle income, but they got bomb personalities, treat their women good, got good character, and a richer man cannot come take their chick. I promise you that. But when you're focused on just the money, then it gives you a reason not to work on character. And that's the problem that he has, is character problems more than anything else, is what I've seen. Definitely young boy logic. Yeah, it was young, it was dumb. So it's like, you had me, but then you go to some childish and immature stuff that only applies if you're dealing with little girls, or only applies if you're dating women like Ruby Rose. But when you're dealing with a Halle Bailey, that same logic don't apply. Because if he was mentally where he should have been while dealing with her, I promise they probably would still be in a relationship. I promise you they would. So him and Joe Budden got into it. Let me say this to my young people that's watching me. Calling people old is not an insult. I promise you it's not. Like, if somebody has lived to be a certain age, calling them old is not an insult. That's a badge of honor. You know, you made it to another year. You know, you've been blessed with some longevity. So, you know, come at people who are older than you based on some of the foul stuff that they've done or their character, and not on their age. Because DDG went off on Joe Budden for speaking on him and Halle Bailey, and there was so many ways that he could have turned Joe Budden every which way but loose, but instead he tried to go for old, which was lazy in my opinion. So this came from Spiritual World. It says DDG goes off over the way Joe Budden covered his breakup with Halle Bailey.
Who the is DDG? and why am I supposed to care about his thoughts on anything? I'm very happy that they have broken up, so I don't get to keep seeing this name attached to this girl's name when I don't know him for nothing as a standalone. And for me, it's important to know people based off their own name and merit and what they have done. Every time I see his name, it's attached to hers, and it's typically in some type of clout chaser fashion. So that makes me look at him a different way, and hopefully I get to look at him a lot less now that they've broken.
Well, she's extremely high profile. She's high profile.
Very high profile and very talented.
And you saying her head game is trash, gonna go get their own account.
Yeah, we figured it out.
They're gonna go find out on their own, number one. And number two, if it was that trash, why you snatched that cherry so fast, my boy? I mean, if her head was as bad as you say, that cherry didn't levitate long before you got. Who the is DDG?
Okay, y'all tell me in the comments. Do y'all feel like Joe Budden lied? I don't know. I don't feel like he lied. I didn't hear anything that was wrong. She's the bigger star. I didn't know about him until he started dating Halle Bailey. So I know that's not good for the young man's ego. I know it hurt, but it's the truth. And you know, we will probably still hear about him, as you know, they've tried to act like they're having an amicable split, but as he continues to talk about this split, because she ain't said nothing. It's him that's doing all these interviews. It's him that want to do these podcasts. It's him that's making commentary. She hasn't really said anything, but he knows that he needs her to kind of stay relevant out here. So Joe didn't say anything wrong. Joe ain't lying, and DDG is wrong for saying that about her. Yeah, now he said, so basically a close friend's message leaked where he was like, basically the head game was trash AF, and making it seem like he didn't care. He's saying that was not true, that didn't come from his close friends. So we don't know. Okay. Maybe it was true, maybe it wasn't. Joe was right, except he was reacting to a fake message that DDG didn't write about her. But everything else is correct. Yeah. So DDG saying he didn't write the message. Of course, on the internet, it's kind of like we don't know. He's saying it's not. We gonna take it as he didn't write it, and that Joe didn't have all the information, but everything else is accurate. So let's see what DDG had to say.
In action, DDG.
That's
I don't
impressive.
even know
Hold
what
on.
that
I forgot about
stands
this.
for.
What does DDG stand for? Daryl Dwayne Granberry.
Yeah, your name, Granberry. You know what my thing is when you that's on the rise and they want to go get with the chick with some notoriety that's also on the rise.
Salute, by the way.
Whenever that relationship fails, I never see them bounce back with something that's going to get Shorty upset. I normally never hear from them again in the dating realm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to ever hear about DDG and his next chick.
I'm on.
Do y'all think that DDG gonna do better than Halle Bailey? I'm talking about in terms of overall. I'm not talking about just in terms of look, because if he has some money, he can go to any strip club in America and pay for a very attractive girl. I'm talking about in terms of everything. I'm talking about looks. I'm talking about career. I'm talking about the level of class. I'm talking about maturity, all of that. Do y'all think that DDG is going to go upgrade on Halle Bailey? Because first of all, I feel like he shouldn't have been given a chance by her. She shouldn't have got with him. That didn't even look like it makes sense. I highly doubt a woman of her caliber or better is going to give him a second chance. I agree. We won't hear much more from Lil DVD from this day forward. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I'm gonna start calling him that DVD. Skinny, he said it was fake and that he doesn't use close friends on IG, but who knows? Yeah, he's saying it's fake. No, he'll never find another Halle Bailey. He got lucky. She'll find more than DDG. Now, I will say this: he can go date another Ruby Rose, but in my opinion, a Ruby Rose is not on the caliber of a Halle Bailey. A Ruby Rose doesn't have the same star power and won't have the same longevity as a Halle Bailey in this industry. Because once you over sexualize yourself, then that becomes your identity and what people expect from you. And that's all they want to see from you. But then you get to a certain point where you don't want to do that no more. But you have locked yourself into that space. And it takes a lot to overcome that and for people to accept you as anything different. So is it possible? Yes, but that just kind of seems to be her mentality too. She seems shallow. Yeah, I don't think he will get better than Halle for a while. I don't think it's ever gonna happen.
Well, his
I
chick
think that's
before
same
her,
thing
you know who she is.
I don't.
Who?
Ruby. I'll talk your DDG.
Who was the chick before her? I'm afraid that we view that differently.
And
Okay, so I like that Joe Budden said like we view that differently. So again, you're gonna have men who are simple-minded who feel like just because Ruby Rose looks a certain way, that's just as much pressure as a Halle Bailey, right? But when you got a man that's trying to social climb, when you got a man that wants a career in the entertainment industry, because let's not forget DDG raps. Now I can't name one song of his, but he is a rapper. Ruby Rose is not going to do much for him in terms of his star power, in terms of his marketability, none of that. The only thing that dating a girl like Ruby Rose can do for a man like DDG is keep his name in the blogs amongst a certain demographic of people just for drama. But if you're trying to get to a space where the real money is at, like Halle Bailey, she didn't doing Little Mermaid and things like that, he's not going to get there with a Ruby. Sorry, he's not.
there was a whole lot going on with her where she was doing clout chasing to their relationship?
Well, Ruby is a hustler and a business owner. In action, DDG.
That's
I don't even know what that stands for.
What does DDG stand for?
Owner. Who was the young lady before her?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
That's what troubles me. That's what troubles me. Good luck, DDG.
Joe
This
Budden
will be
is
your
funny.
first and last time being mentioned on this broadcast for the rest of eternity. Who was the young lady?
Okay, so here's what DDG had to say. Pump It Up went gold after 20 years. You old B. Joe Budden, I'm on you. And then he pulls it up. I guess DDG had a song that went gold before Pump It Up. But guess what? I don't know DDG's song. I do know Pump It Up. I do know Pump It Up. Now, I don't know no other song by Joe Budden, but I do know Pump It Up. I do. I don't be tripping about the girls saying ish because I'm used to it. It's all love. But you ninjas with platforms gonna get a response for sure. Okay, but can you come harder with your response? Because like you can't talk about somebody that has a song that's more known than yours. You can't do that, sir. Ninja got 30 years max of life. You're going to get to the point where hopefully you get to a point where you got 30 years max of life left. And speaking on a relationship of people the same age as your son, you don't take care of. Older people are allowed to speak on younger people, especially younger people who decide they want to be in the public. I don't know why people that are in their 20s feel like they are off limits to anybody above the age of 30. Like, that don't make sense to me. Now, do you want the clout or not? I hope you forget to take your magnesium pills today, you old B. And Joe Budden isn't even all that old. Is he even 50 yet? He's not even like an elderly. So it was just whack. He's whack. Like, I don't know what else to say in regards to that. Like, DDG whack. He immature. I agree with what he said about waiting and grinding it out before you get into a relationship. I just don't like the way he handles stuff. And honestly and truly, he deserves to be with Ruby Rose or a woman like her. He don't deserve to be with no Halle Bailey. And that's not to talk bad about Ruby Rose. It's just, again, she does come off as like a hustler. I respect her hustle. I respect anybody out here that's getting an honest dollar. Okay? But I'm not going to say I would want my daughter out here behaving like Ruby Rose does in public. You know, she always bent over. You know, and my whole thing is there used to be a point in time where women would get their money off of men in private. Girl, you just promoting this whole image of being naked and bent over for the youth, you know, and these girls see these young boys lusting after her. So of course they want to be like that. He'll be using his son for those skits. That's all we'll see. Yeah. Hey, Nicole, I'm good to see you. I'm glad to see you here, girl. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I done went way past my lunch hour. Overly sexualized women are lusted after, but that's about it. Yeah. And I'm glad she getting her coins while she can. At least she getting paid. But we're not going to sit up here and act like Halle and Ruby are on the same level because they're not. Chat name a DDG song and Mariah will cash app you $20. Okay, now I done already told you I'm the broker version of Halle Bailey. So I don't know why you offering up my money like that. He just mad. Yeah, just mad. No, Joe is in his 40s. Yeah, he's not even, like, he's middle-aged. He's not even elderly. Right, he offering up my money and all that. Skinny, I don't know any of his music. I don't know not one song. You know, the good thing is that I ain't have to come up off of no money today because y'all can't name a song anyway. Okay. All right, guys. So that's all I have for you today. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. For those of y'all who are just coming in, please, if you're already watching me, go ahead and hit that like button, the subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I come on every day at 12:05. Wait a little bit if y'all don't see me, because sometimes I'm a little late. You know, I be trying to get my hair together and stuff. I be trying not to come on here looking any kind of way. But I will be here during the lunch hour, guys. Also, If you need any one-on-one coaching, if you like my perspective, and if you have a situation that you're dealing with, or if you want to radically transform your life, like I did, I'm talking to y'all all the way live from DDG in Colombia, baby. I'm not over there in the USA dealing with that struggle. But I decided I wanted to move at the beginning of the year. By June, I was up out of there. So I'm the expert at developing a plan and executing it. So if you need that type of help through one-on-one coaching, hit my email at thepassportsis@gmail.com. I also plan travel and I can help you get into the travel industry. So hit my email for that as well. All of that is in the description box. With that said, I will see y'all tomorrow at the same time. Thank you for everybody that showed up. Y'all have an amazing afternoon. Hold on, let me get some of these last minute comments. Thank you, Binky. Yes, y'all hit the like button. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank you so much, Jamal. I hope to see you back soon. I'm having troubles with my teens and career. Okay, well then hit me up. All right, guys. With that said, y'all have a great afternoon. See y'all back tomorrow.